What's going on, y'all? Josh Sherman here. You're now tuned in with the greatest of the greatest, and that is myself. And this video is a video I've been wanting to do for a while. And I know it's going to cause some extreme butt cheek hurting. So much so that, again, a lot of you will be needing a lot more toilet tissue than usual because some of you are going to get easily offended. Now, for those unaware, director David Sandberg is helming a film I've been looking forward to for quite some time, and that movie is none other than Shazam. It will be releasing in April of next year, and I'm really excited for this movie, man. Shazam, especially after reading the New 52 last year in the summer. Uh, Shazam last year, as in 2017. I know this year is almost over. Uh, Shazam is something I've really been wanting to see come to life on the big screen, and then with David Sandberg being involved, that only increased my excitement personally for me because I really enjoyed Annabelle Creation, and I also really enjoyed Lights Out. I was really impressed with how good Lights Out was, and I even think a sequel is supposed to be being made to that, but I'm not for sure. Um, but today's video is going to be about something that David Sandberg put his own take on, and as you can see, it's about this whole so-called Marvel and DC rivalry. And a lot of people are going to be thinking, well, if he's talking about the movies, this side does it better, or this side doesn't do it good, or this side does it better. And honestly, I'm pretty sure he means you, the fanboys, all of us. Whether it's Marvel fanboys, whether it's DC fanboys, I believe that is mostly who he's referring to. And honestly, bro, most of you know that I'm a fan of both Marvel and DC. Like in the audience, you see Iron Man, Aquaman, Cap, Plastic Man, Green Arrow. You see Robin. You see Thor that looks like Marvel Girl, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. And this picture is easily overlookable to a lot of us, but to me, it's a symbol of what can be and what should be. But online is seemingly just not the case. Uh, Diving into this article, let's go ahead and take a look at it. And it starts by saying, the director of Shazam, David F. Sandberg, thinks that the rivalry between Marvel and DC movies is stupid. Both Marvel Comics and DC Comics have been around for decades, with each company having the rights to multiple superhero characters that are considered iconic. Many of these characters have been adapted for successful films, TV shows, and even video games. Shout out to the Batman Arkham series. The last one was kind of... anyway. But there's always seemed to be a rivalry between Marvel and DC fans. While there's always been a rivalry between the two comic book companies, the rivalry between DC and Marvel was really escalated once superhero movies started to become massive Hollywood blockbusters. DC and Marvel characters had been adapted prior to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC Extended Universe, but the rivalry really became apparent once these film series started. The MCU started in 2008 with Iron Man, and the DCU started a few years later in 2013 with Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Since then, Warner Brothers has struggled to make films that were popular with both fans and critics, while Marvel has flourished with their movie universe. Given the critical failure of several DC films compared to Marvel, it's resulted in fans from each side bashing the opposite film universe, which Sandberg thinks is stupid. And as you can see, David, his username on Instagram is Pony Smasher. You guys make sure you go follow David, man. He's a really cool dude. I really like his directing style, and I just think he's a really cool guy. And like I said, I can't wait to see Shazam. I'm really excited. Aside from New Mutants, Joker, and obviously Endgame and Far From Home, I'm really excited for Shazam, man. That movie, I think, has a lot of potential. And as you can see, he has a picture of a comic with both Marvel and DC characters: Parasite, Doctor Doom, Superman, and Spider-Man. And as you can see, David took the time to uh, write out some thoughts, and it says, "This was one of my favorite comic books I owned as a kid. Back then, I didn't know what Marvel or DC was. I just knew that I loved all of these superheroes. The seriousness of the DC slash Marvel rivalry is so goddamn stupid. I hope that all superhero movies do fantastically well. Why would you ever wish for a movie to be bad or to fail? More good movies is a win for everyone. I hope that all superhero movies do fantastically well. Why would you ever wish for a movie to be bad or to fail? More good movies is a win for everyone." This interruption and trolling is brought to you by Disappointment in Humanity. Now back to our regular programming. And man, again, shout out to David Sandberg, man. I completely agree 110%, man. Again, me personally, I like both Marvel and DC. Um, I like Spider-Man just as much as I like Batman. I like Flash just as much as I like Quicksilver from the X-Men. I like Deadpool just as much as I like Deathstroke. I like I like Wolverine, just as much as I like Jason Todd. I could go on and on. Daredevil, uh, Dick Grayson, I could go on and on. Cyborg, there's plenty. Martian Manhunter, man. Shout out to Martian Manhunter. He needs a movie or something. Um, I personally am a fan of both. Again, like I've said repeatedly, for those that genuinely just like one side, that's completely fine. I can't tell a person that they're wrong for liking one side or the other. But the fanboyism is definitely out of hand. And me personally, I see it a lot more with MCU fans, and I'm ready for the downvotes and the dislikes. You can bring them on. I see it a lot more with MCU fans that tend to have this whole, we do everything right. The other side suck. This movie doesn't look like it's gonna be good because it's not Marvel. And again, like I just said, the 30th time, if you like Marvel, good for you, bro. Good for you. But my point, and David's great point, is we shouldn't be bashing another the opposing side for just because you like one side, you think one side is better. You shouldn't be bashing their fans. And honestly, bro, it leaks into the mainstream media with a lot of these critics. And I want to shout out Aquaman, shout out Jason Momoa, man, for a lot of the comments he's made the past few weeks. And you know what comments I'm talking about for those of you that are listening. And I suspect that may be one of the reasons behind reviews. But that's another video. But you see it even in mainstream media with a lot of these so-called professional and critical reviewers. And just take a look at what I mean. This one I have highlighted for you all. Aquaman review. James Wan can't salvage a wannabe Thor movie. Whereas Justice League was a feeble attempt to deliver the DC answer to the Avengers, Wan's Aquaman imitates Marvel's Thor to an embarrassing degree. See, man, I can't read stuff like that, man. And don't get me wrong, I understand why it's easy to compare Marvel to DC for a lot of people. And I guess it's easy to do for critics because, let's be honest, I'm sure a lot of critics, a lot of these mainstream critics aren't aren't necessarily comic book readers or mass comic book readers. I'm sure some of them are, but they probably don't have the extensive knowledge that certain fans have. And again, like I said, I don't think that DC and Marvel should necessarily be compared. I see why it's easy to do, but I don't think that it should be a thing. And again, just look at this, man. Look at this. Critics brand DC film wanna be Thor living in Marvel's shadow. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. But again, shout out to Aquaman, man. I'm really excited for Aquaman because it's doing really well, and it hasn't even opened in the States yet. I know it's opened overseas, but it's doing really well. It's almost near $300 million, and that's really impressive. And a lot of people are suggesting that it could gross $1 billion. And I hold the belief, and I said this earlier in the year in one of my videos. A lot of people underestimate what James Wan can do, and especially in terms of box office totals, we underestimate his ability to succeed both, especially in terms of financially. Um, the most recent example, I guess, would be uh, Furious 7. Rest in peace to Paul Walker. That movie ended up grossing $1 billion, and that was under James Wan's direction. And yeah, man, I definitely think it has a shot. The word of mouth is really good. It's really suspicious, though, to me, how that the whole critic thing, and like I hinted at earlier, the whole critic thing, how the rating seemingly dropped, and it happened almost after those comments that Jason made, which I find kind of ironic, but maybe that's just me reaching a little too hard. But yeah, man, shout out to them, and shout out especially to David Sandberg, man. I'm really looking forward to Shazam, man, and you know, God willing, we get a sequel. Hopefully, Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam is in it. WB, if you're listening to this, we gotta see Superman and Henry Cavill's Superman and Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam's trade blows just once, even if it's just once. We have to see this. We have to see this. And me, man, again, I never look at a DC film and say, "Oh, this is copying Marvel." I never go into a Marvel film and say, "Oh, this is copying DC."
You've run from foster homes in 6 counties.
And to me, it's just really dumb. It's just really dumb, and I don't understand why it happens, but I get why it's easy to do. Something I've said 40 times already. And man, Shazam. I mean, just look at Shazam, bro. It looks dope, man. It really looks dope. It looks like it's gonna capture a lot of what I liked from that new 52 comic. Shout out to Gary Frank, man. Um, and I just don't get it. It's so easy to like both, but I get why they're fans of one soul side. And again, it leaks into the mainstream media, and I just don't think that fans should pester other fans that just like one side, or should just be going to forums and sites with the intention to just troll and bash fans of one particular side. You know what I'm saying? And man, Shazam, I mean, it looks excellent. This film, for those of you that want to say, superhero films need to be fun and happy and I'm happy, happy long if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel. For those of you that think that superhero films need to be fun and joyful and all this, comedy, Shazam is likely going to be your movie. Shazam is likely going to be your movie. I mean, look at it, man. Looks fucking awesome, man. I can't wait to see what David does with this movie, bro. And honestly, I think it's gonna do well. I think it's really gonna surprise a lot of people. This Joker, New Mutants, and obviously Avengers Endgame are my most anticipated CBMs of next year. Um, Far From Home, I'm kind of mixed about. I'm excited to see Jake Gyllenhaal, but I'm really excited for Shazam, man. Shazam is a character I think has been long overdue for a film. Just like I definitely want to see Black Adam, played by Dwayne Johnson, man. And I agree with David Sandberg. He's speaking facts. I mean, there's no reason why a fan should have to be pestered about what he or she chooses to like in terms of comics and comic book movies. And like he also said, man, what benefit does one get out of wanting a film, actively going out of their way to want a film to fail? And that's with any film, not just comic films, but that's with any film. Why would you actively want a film to fail? And I look at it like this, man. With DC and Marvel, there are so many characters, man, and there hasn't been an era where we've gotten this many comic book shows and movies. I mean, you just look across the board. There's tons upon tons of movies and shows, and they're just gonna be more and more as the years to come. And man, I want Marvel and DC to win, but the problem is there's so much fuck shit from fanboys and like I said, it leaks into the mainstream media. And again, me personally, I see it mostly with MCU fans, and I'm ready for the downvotes and the dislikes and the shut your fucking mouth comments. But that's fine. I'm just saying what I see. If you see something different and can email me or tweet me, please be my guest. Please be my guest. If you see it from a different side, let me know. But it's just crazy, man. We live in this era where we get so many superhero films, man, and I'm not a person that wants to see any film succeed, or I mean, any film succeed, any film fail. I mean, especially financially, because that means that squanders its potential for a sequel, man. And looking beyond that, man, it's like the people that are fans of these characters, and more importantly, uh, the people that make these films for the fans, they put a lot of work into delivering a thorough product that us the fans can enjoy. And shout out to James Mangold and Christopher McQuarrie, the director of the Mission Impossible film that came out this year, Fallout. They both made some very good points about how this whole online mass of individuals who have to get online with the intent of bashing uh bashing filmmakers and bashing one side or another side. It's going to steer a lot of filmmakers away from helming these types of films, and we've already seen it slowly but surely begin to happen. Um, but again, me personally, DC and Marvel, I like them. I like them both. Do I like some characters more than others on both sides? Sure. But that's just me. You know. there's not much else to say, man. I hope that this video was informative and it's great. Again, shout out to David Sandberg. Shout out to James Wan. You guys go see Aquaman this weekend. I'm glad that it's doing well, and I'm really looking forward to it, man. Especially with those effects. Runaway season 2 also premieres this Friday. What else is coming out? We got Glass next month. Technically, that's not a comic book movie, but it's technically a superhero movie. Shout out to James McAvoy, Samuel Jackson, and extremely gorgeous, doe-eyed Anya Taylor-Joy. Uh, we also have Avengers Endgame. We also had that movie coming out in March that looks boring. We also have in April again, Shazam is coming out. We also have Spider-Man Far From Home. We also have Joker, and also I'm forgetting another one, New Mutants. Speaking of Anya Taylor-Joy, New Mutants in August, and Dark Phoenix in June. Man, it's just crazy. Even Alicia, I think, is an adaptation as well. Alita, not Alicia. Alita, which comes out on Valentine's Day, that's an adaptation as well, I believe. Just man, do what you do. Closing this out, I say do what you do online. Make your comments. Do I believe that there is a bias? I definitely do. And if you don't believe it, then you're just over. To me, that means you're just overlooking it. I definitely do think there is a bias, but um, again, I don't think some of the critics can help it because a lot of them just don't read comics, and a lot of them just like to, join in the popular what the popular mass is saying about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Hopefully, this ends at some point. I'm not saying it's gonna be next week. It's definitely not gonna be tomorrow. But hopefully this ends at some point, because I want both sides to succeed so we can get more and more comic book films and shows, man. And me personally, I'm excited whenever I hear about a new comic book film coming out or a comic book film succeeding, man. It's just a great feeling, man, because these are superheroes coming to life on the big screen or on, for those of you that use Netflix or Hulu or whatever, on TV. So, let me know what you guys think down below. Does David have a point? Are you a fan of DC and Marvel? Thank you all so much once again for tuning in. You are listening to the greatest of the greatest. More videos are on the way. Subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. And yeah, you agree?